But his biggest threat right now, almost every foreign policy advisor, past, present, or former, has been indicating is China. And the fact that the U.S. is sending warships through the Taiwan Strait today is the latest example of that. That, of course, in response to China sending a whole bunch of ships into the region. So scary times. Dan Joseph, the China Learning Curve, back with us. Dan, do you agree China's our biggest threat, our biggest challenge right now?
Definitely the biggest challenge, probably the biggest threat as well, although I think you can attribute more stability to China than some of the other threats that might end up spiking. But certainly the size of China, their footprint around the world, and the fact that unlike most of our major identified adversaries, China is also integrated into the global economy, into our economy. So you have to cooperate with China while at the same time confronting some of the behaviors China has that don't coincide with our strategic objectives. So it is the greatest challenge. There's no doubt about it.
You know, Dan, I think it was the Washington Post today that got into how this administration responds to China, because it's like a team of rivals response. You have John Kerry, the climate czar, who wants to work with China to help deal with the climate accords and you know, obviously to make this a cleaner world and all of that. And you have others who are a bit more bellicose, including the incoming defense secretary, who is not, you know, very trustful of what the Chinese do any day. So can they speak with one voice, and what would that voice be?
Well, they're trying to, we're here in the early going, to kind of lay out the benchmarks, you know, the broad strokes of what the policy is going to be. As with any administration, the devil will be in the details down the road. What we're hearing so far is that there's not going to be a huge shift. We're going to maintain a rather ardent position on things that are key to our national security and even to our economy. The tariffs aren't going to be rolled back until the Biden administration has done a thorough review. So it doesn't look like there's going to be a big change. China will welcome us working with them on things like the climate, but I think those type of issues to a large extent stand alone. That'll be something we can point to say, see, we're still friends, but we're still going to have these other areas where the conflicts are going to be difficult to resolve. And it doesn't look like either side wants to back off their position very quickly.
So you could score a trade deal or complete one that the prior administration left, and still talk tough on whatever's going on in the Taiwan Strait, right?
I think we can. That's what we were doing for years. Of course, the trajectory of the relationship changed over the last few years as China has taken a more aggressive, assertive global footprint. And then, of course, Donald Trump really changed the narrative by coalescing opinion around the idea that we need to push back on China. But for years, we've had these differences on foreign policy while at the same time trying to work together on the economy. And we've been able to keep them apart, which I think has been good for both countries. It would be nice to get back on that track. I think we can, while protecting our economic interests and also national security and whatnot. That will be one of the things we'll be looking at to see if we can push the relationship in that direction, given all the tumult over the last few years.
All right, Dan, thank you very much. Dan Joseph, the China Learning Curve, ahead of a lot of these things, than certainly most of the established press and elsewhere.